Hello and welcome to this, our first casted game of 2024 and of the Sunburst Cup. You may have noticed here that I am alone, myself commentating with myself. Unfortunately, due to some load shedding crisis and issues, I will be tackling this journey myself. Story of my life. We're really happy to bring you the first COWZA competition for the year. This competition is going to be in the format of a group stage this weekend, followed by a double elimination knockout next weekend. This match today is between two well-known teams in the community. On the one hand, we have Pink Salamanders, a team that has actually been quite successful, placing third very narrowly, losing out first spot in our most recent COWZA competition, the Elephant Crown. On the other side, we have Valkyrie, a team that has been together for a long time, with some new faces around, but well-structured and well-organized team that know each other quite well. Salamanders, you'll be seeing now. We've got our lineup for today. Leading the tank line is going to be the well-known Blur, the Ramatra simp, as some people are aware. Carrying on the Omnic Revolution, we have Big Tuna and Luke. Big Tuna, a bit of a jack-of-all-trades here player with his affection for robots. Luke carrying on that Omnic supremacy with his well-known Zenyatta play. Trizzle on the DPS, quite a hit scan player, has been around, quite a successful player that we are well aware of. And then Metal Snow changing teams from Beastie Boys, former Beastie Boys players, now on the side of Pink Salamanders, showing off his scales. On the other side, we're going to have Valkyrie. Valkyrie, a roster of Elven Slayer, well-known tank in the community. Well-known Sigma player, well-known Wrecking Ball player. Lots of skills to show off that I'm sure we're going to see. Quite a leader for the team. Due to some last-minute changes, Honey will no longer be playing, unfortunately. I think the shedding hath struck and being replaced by Anna. Joestar completing that support line, and then we are going to have the DPS of Valkyrie, which is to be confirmed as the roster has not been updated, but Lucky and KitKat are the well-known players of this roster, one of them being replaced by Fireman, well-known player in some regards, in some communities. Lucky and KitKat have quite the good synergy. Lucky on his preferred Ashe, quite the hit scan player. KitKat, the Tracer aficionado, running around with Elven Slayer and making backlines cry. We're going to go to our first map soon, as soon as the teams are ready. It's going to be Oasis. Teams have the opportunity to choose from 3 maps. Oasis, Ilios, and Samoa. And Salamanders, being the higher of the two teams ranked, are going to choose Oasis to start us off. It'll be interesting what we can see, because we're going to see a well-organized team in Salamanders, and a very successful team in Salamanders, playing, unfortunately, a bit of a last-minute shake-up on the side of Valkyrie. You know, Valkyrie are a well-structured team that have been together for a while, unfortunately having some last-minute roster changes, so we'll see if that affects the cohesion of Valkyrie, but we'd like to hope not. Anna and Fireman, both good players in their own rights, but obviously without the experience of the scrimming and the synergy that they'll have with their remaining players. But we hope that they'll perform to a level that we expect of them. All good players in their own right. On the other side from Salamanders, I just had confirmation, so it's going to be KitKat that is we're going to lose, unfortunately. So we'll see how Fireman fits into that DPS role. More of a tank player himself, but we'll see how he does. Fireman subbing in for Lucky. So Fireman going from tank to hit scan. We'll see how he adapts, but I believe he has what it takes to step up into Lucky's shoes. On the side of Salamanders, Blur, Nyan, Metal Snow, Triggers, Lade, Trizzle, Luke, Big Tuna, a very, very strong roster overall. A team that likes to mix and match depending on maps, depending on how things go. To be honest, I'm surprised we didn't see Ilios, because maybe that's because Lade wasn't playing, but if if Zlade were playing, we would have seen Ilios. That's just a given, because the Frog would have come for blood. He is the coldest of blooded killers. Blur has a very, very dynamic hero pool. Ramatra, Reinhardt, Monkey, Wrecking Ball can play lots of heroes that really enables his team to play a large variety of comps, and Salamanders are known to play strange compositions. Some of their players and former players had interesting hero pools, to say the least, but they made it work in their own way, which is one of the reasons that makes Salamanders interesting to play against, fun to play against, and also frustrating to play against, because you never know when there might be the wild Life Weaver might come out for whatever reason, or you know, as we've seen from Big Tuna, the Bastion. Bastion at points when Bastion really shouldn't be played, but Bastion played nonetheless. It'll be interesting to see if also we have some swaps later on, because as we've said, Salamanders has quite a large roster of players that comes in and out. So in the future, we might see Trigger coming in for tank, Blur stepping out, Trigger coming in. Maybe if we want to see some Diva play or some Doomfist play. Trigger known for his Diva and his Doomfist. At the moment, we're just waiting for Elven Slayer to get into the game. He is having some unfortunate technical issues, but hopefully we won't be waiting around for too much longer. On the support side of Salamanders, we've got two very strong flex sports players playing the old double flex support. We've got Luke, who likes to play the Zenyatta. Zenyatta recently a major beneficiary of the Season 9 patch. For those unaware or, you know, maybe not following Overwatch as closely, Overwatch has recently, you know, as recently as 2 days ago, gone through a massive balance patch. Lots of things have changed. Every single hero has received an HP buff. There is a DPS passive now in effect that dramatically affects how easy it is to kill something, reducing healing received by 20%. We have the infamous projectile size increase, which makes heroes like Zenyatta, who have now extra HP and extra projectile size, just deadly to deal with. The good Zenyatta can just control a match. So we'll see if Luke can dominate like that. It seems like Elven Slayer has sorted his technical issues, and we're going to go into the map anytime now. Hopefully not an issue that will rear its head again moving forward. We don't want... I mean, it happens. This is South African Overwatch, but we don't want technical issues to affect the game too much. So now we're going into the game. We're going to be heading off to Oasis University. Ilios University does not exist. First map is going to be Oasis University, and it'll be interesting to see what the teams play here, because we know Salamanders can play kind of anything with their hero pool diversity, and it'll be interesting to see what Elven Slayer in particular picks, because we know he likes the Wrecking Ball. And the question is, can Valkyrie follow up on that Wrecking Ball spearhead, if you will? On the side of Salamanders, we have... There it is. Big Tuna swapping immediately to Bastion, as we always expect him to do. But Blur's going to be on Ramatra, Metal Snow on the Ana, Luke on the Zenyatta, and Trizzle on the Sojourn. Sort of what we expect, comfort heroes from everyone, but in a composition that very works, and heroes that are strong in the current patch. On the other side, we've got Arab Dive from Valkyrie. They're going to be very, very difficult to get a lock on, as Annabelle and Joestar are going to just be non-existent for all intents and purposes. Their objective, survive. Elven Slayer is going to look to really target Metal Snow and Luke, who, while having received these buffs, are quite vulnerable to a lot of the spam coming from Fireman on the Pharah. Pharah receiving a massive rework and change, so we'll see how Fireman adapts to that, having maybe not the most experience on this new hero. Luke picks up Fireman. That's a good start for them, but it's immediately rezzed. Joestar will go down, and Luke picking up Meow on the Tracer. There we see really the strength of that Zenyatta. It's in a way the new tank of the team, the Zenyatta, with that 275 HP, who can kind of do what he wants if he's looked after by his Ana. So it's a good start from Salamanders. They are responding well to the Arab dive that we're seeing out of Valkyrie. Valkyrie wanting to get a better dive onto the backline of Salamanders, but the way Salamanders are playing in this room here, where they're very safe, it makes approaching for Elven Slayer difficult. They're bunkering up here. Meow's gonna go down, and that's not a great start for Valkyrie. Somewhat left in ruin, so to speak. Tuna may be punishable, but with that HP buff, it's difficult, and Elven Slayer is going to get punished after a good sleep dart from Metal Stone. This is sort of working out here for Salamanders, as they have control of the point, and they're just taking this fight slow and making it difficult for Elven Slayer to really get onto them. And if Elven Slayer can't get onto them, it gets very difficult for the DPS to get onto them. Good barrage out there, takes out Big Tuna. Annabelle goes down, but this is maybe something that they can work with. Luke's gonna go down. That's the tank dead. The fake tank. Blur's gonna go down, and that's a very nice response. A cheap ult fight win from Valkyrie, only using the barrage and getting a lot of value. 62% on the clock though. That's a good win, well, long-term win for Salamanders, who used no ults in that fight. Blur gonna give up his ult, swap to Monkey to maybe get some more aggression on some of the easier people to run down. You think, yeah, Yao is gonna have trouble with that more aggression on him. There we go, Trizzle picking up a lot of people with that ult. It's railguns for the win, and they've cleaned up, and that's gonna be a fight win for Salamanders. They have pushed the Valkyries back into their Gecko Roman era, and we're gonna have a pause. I think that might be Elven Slayer having some technical issues. Like we said, he didn't start the game very well with his getting into lobby problems, so hopefully that'll be resolved shortly. Hopefully it's just some frame drops or something easy to fix, but where Valkyrie go from here is really difficult to say, because this backline, in theory, there's nothing wrong with the composition from Valkyrie, but this map might not be the best place for it, because as we've been seeing, Elven Slayer and the Tracer, when Meow was on Tracer, have really been struggling to get onto the backline of Metal Snow and Luke, who are being protected very well on their flanks by Trizzle and Big Tuna. Blur kind of just locking down point, being a barrier to entry, and Luke kind of free. We've already seen Luke get a lot of kills and a lot of value out of his Discord, which makes it very, very difficult for anything to get done from the side of Valkyrie. Luckily there we have Elven Slayer. He's ready. That's good to see. Teams are going to be starting soon. Any day now, if the Salamanders are ready. They are indeed unpausing. Salamanders coming in. They've regrown their tails, and they're ready for the fight. Valkyries are going to come in. They have not made any comp changes. Sorry, they actually have. They've swapped off the Pharah onto the Tracer. Fireman swapping onto Tracer, which is a good move. Nano boost onto Monkey, and Blur engages hard. He's going to get Meow, and Big Tune is going to follow up and kill onto Annabelle. Fireman goes and takes out Luke. That's a good trade, because there's no res from the side of Salamanders. Fireman looks to be trying to get overtime. He might be able to. He doesn't have his recall, and he's going to go down. But Joestar is going to get overtime. That's good for them. The Wrecking Ball's almost back. Whether or not they can win this fight remains to be seen, but they're certainly going to be able to stall it out. Their players are trickling back one at a time. But you worry with the resources that Salamanders have and the 5 players on point, they're not going to be able to stall it out for long. Fireman's going to touch again, prolonging overtime. He gets the recall, but he's going to get taken out by Luke, who is waiting for him on the recall. Joestar can't touch after a nice boop there from Luke again. 100% to 29%. We saw that one fight win from the side of Valkyrie. When they used their ults well, they got nice value out of their Pharah barrage. Hopefully we'll see, if this is something that Valkyrie want to pursue, hopefully we'll see better success on these more open maps now. We're going to go over to City Center, where it's harder, not impossible, but harder for the backline of Salamanders to just sit and be difficult. It looks like Valkyrie are going to be playing the Arab Dive again. Maybe not, they're going on to the Kiriko. Still a difficult comp to focus down from the side of Salamanders. But we're going to see swaps on the side of Salamanders, giving up the Ramacha, going onto the Monkey, and moving away from the Bastion and onto the Tracer. So a far more aggressive composition from the side of Salamanders. And equally aggressive from the side of Valkyrie. Fireman goes, sorry, not Fireman. Meow goes down. Big Tuna goes down as well. Good kill from Joestar. It traded teams, and importantly, Annabelle has that res still. So once they've cleared the danger, they could be able to res. At the moment, this is in the favor of Valkyrie, but can they win it off? It seems like they're going to back off and wait for their respawns. Luke is in a very, very aggressive position here, but looks like he's just Metalstone and Luke are going to take a position on the high ground. Interestingly, actually, I thought that fight was maybe in favor of Valkyrie, but the positional advantage that Salamanders have proved to be enough. Annabelle's struggling, she's going to go down maybe? No, she gets out. Dive onto the backline of Salamanders. A good start, they're up by 1 from Valkyrie. Elvinster is wishing he gets some help right now, but that's actually up for 2. Right now this is very much, if Valkyrie just play this slow, they probably can take this. Trizzle's is very dangerous, off on his own in no man's land. Fireman and Joestar looking to take him down, and indeed they will. It's just the backline now of Salamanders up on the high ground. Luke's gonna go down, and that will mean that Metal Snow also goes down, taken down by Joestar. Valkyrie looking to just cap, they have to clear the points of these late swingers. Annabelle's going to go down, taken up by Blur. This could be the start of a recontest. Big Tuna is going to go down, Blur primals, and he is going to get a face full of rockets from Mew. Meow. The monkey has been dealt with, so that's a good cap. Good stall from the side of Salamanders, but maybe now with positional advantage of this Pharah, it might be more difficult for this backline to get into this high ground position that Salamanders were controlling. And we can see Valkyrie on the high ground here, looking to take this positional advantage. Mew putting in damage, Salamanders have swapped off of the monkey onto the D.Va to maybe in an attempt to deal with this Pharah a bit better. As well, Big Tuna going off the Tracer and onto the Cassidy. A good sign for Joestar, who was dealing quite nicely with the threat of Big Tuna's Tracer. Backline of Salamanders hiding up in this hole again. Big Tuna's gonna get hit by some traffic. That's worrying. Or maybe he died to his sticky bomb. I don't know. The ICBM coming in clutch for Valkyrie. Good stick from Fireman onto Metal Snow. That means that Luke goes down. Trizzle gets a trade onto Fireman, but it's all she wrote. And Blur is gonna go playing in traffic and suffers the consequences. Luke's gonna make a swap onto Brigitte. Now we haven't seen Brig have the most success in this patch. Metal Snow on Ana, Luke on Brig. It's a hard backline to dive, but we'll see if Luke struggles on this Brig, given the aggression of this Pharah, this Tracer, this Wrecking Ball together. Ults are on the side of Salamanders. They're going to have that nano boost onto the railguns, which are very, very dangerous for, especially Mew. The railguns come out, Tune rush. Elven Slayer is slept. Trizzle cleans up with the nano boost. 2 down already. Blur's gonna get ulted. He loses his mech, but it looks to be enough. That was a good ult from Trizzle, and there's just gonna be cleanup at this point. But honestly, that's okay for Valkyrie. They get the point to 97%, and that's actually perfect for them. They're very, very happy with that at this point. Blur still in Baby D.Va form. He's going to look to get that ult soon. He'll be fine by the time they re-engage. No really ults for either side. High Noon on the side of Tuna, but that's not... It's going to be difficult to get the value out of that. Maybe Mew might struggle if he gets a bit High Noon. Elven Slayer gets let by Metal Snow, but he gets cleansed. He's fine. It's a bit of a trade, and Joestar goes down. Blur picks him up. High Noon on the jump pad. Gets value. Mew goes down. This is dangerous now because this means that Valkyrie is not going to get a nice recontest. Elven Slayer will be able to contest. He is alive, hiding amongst the traffic. Metalstone knows where he is though, I think. So he's looking for him. They've found him out. He will get touch. Elven Slayer gets touched. That's good. If Elven Slayer can get out, but he doesn't. The Cassidy ICBM catching him out. Mew's gonna get touch. He does, but he goes down immediately. This is dangerous now. Annabelle's gonna try for that res, but she has to wait till it's safe. But she can't. She gets taken out by Trizzle. Riley's gonna come out, and that's probably gonna be all she wrote. Yep, that looks like... And the first nap goes to the Salamanders. It's a good showing, honestly, from Valkyrie on the more open of the maps, we saw how much they struggled on those closed off maps. They want to be playing these aggressive dive compositions, and they struggle when they can't get as easily onto the backline. We saw when they had the opportunity, they could swap onto those. They actually forced Salamanders to swap backlines. We saw Luke swapping off the Zen, and we saw just how effective Luke is on the Zenyatta just there on the play of the game. But we actually saw him being forced off the Zen onto the Brigitte to help out Metal Snow a bit more. So that's a very good sign for Valkyrie, who are, punching above their weight here against Salamanders, who are a strong team. We just hope now, given that Valkyrie have the map pick here, we hope to see them maybe pick a map that is going to be better suited to how they want to play. Force Salamanders in a way that they don't want to play, in these open kind of maps where it's easier to get onto the backline. If you can force Luke off the Zenyatta, that is a good sign. So we hope to see more of that. They're going to have a choice between King's Row, Numbani, and Eichenwalde. So King's Row favors the brawl. We know that. Everyone loves a good King's Row, Scrim's Row. Numbani, very favored to first point defense. Point A, an Ana, a soldier, a Sojourn sitting on the high ground is very difficult to dislodge, very dive heavy. Maybe a map that might suit the way that Valkyrie want to play this, if they're favoring that Pharah, if they're favoring that Wrecking Ball. Eichenwalde, a bit of a mixed match. Point 2, very, very dive focused. Point 1 can kind of go either way. And point 3, more focused to the dive. It looks like Valkyrie have chosen King's Row. An interesting choice, favoring the brawl compositions. It's also a way that Salamanders can play that safe kind of composition that they want to. But this might be a map that that Valkyrie are comfortable with. It's always better to play to your strengths than to play to the enemy's weaknesses. So if that's something they've decided, I think that's for the best. We'll see if they make any composition changes, and we'll also see if Salamanders make any roster swaps, because we do know that they like to swap between maps. I think the big question is whether or not Elven Slayer stays on the ball, because that is how that's the spear point of their game. It's if Elven Slayer is on that Wrecking Ball, it defines how the rest of them are going to play their game. We saw the Tracer, we saw the Sojourn, we saw the Pharah. That aggression is really the starting point as Elven Slayer. If they can coordinate that aggression between the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball, then they'll have success. We're going to see, as we go into King's Row, we're going to see something not working. We're going to see Salamanders on the defense, and we're going to see Valkyrie on the attack. At the moment, we've got Blur on the Monkey, Trizzle on the Widowmaker, Metal Slow on the Ana, Luke on the Kiriko. So Luke not on the Zenyatta, interesting decision. Kiriko also a strong hero in this patch. Big Tuna on the Ashe, so favoring the double hit scan. On the other side, remains to be seen if they will stay on this composition, because who knows what the attackers do. That's no one knows what attackers do on this map, because they swap like all the time. We're going to be holding on to high ground. It'll be difficult for, as the roster is currently with the Sigma kind of spam composition, it'll be difficult to see if they can dislodge Trizzle and Tuna from high ground, especially with the pressure of Blur, who can sort of cleave and run away. We're going to see Bastion, May, Sigma, Bap, Lucio. And honestly, they're making a good rotation right now. They're trying to force that Widow and that Ashe off the high ground. It's a good start from the side of Valkyrie, a nice rotation. It looks like this is maybe a map that they've practiced. Blur's going to come in for the dive, do some poking. Annabelle goes very low. But he's going to get forced out by good Bastion play. And Fireman is going to pick up Tuna. That is a really good start. They now control this high ground, Valkyrie do, and they've got a pick. They've cleared the high ground, and now they're going to move to point. Annabelle, Joestar is in a very good position, but he's going to drop. He wants to play it safe. Lamp is forced, but they've already got a tick. That's a good nade from the side of Metal Snow, who is playing in a nice position. But he's going to, apologies, a dead position. And Mia's going to go down, so they're even now again. Trizzle is back on this high ground. Big Tune is going to take out Elven Slayer. Blur's going to go down. And that late kill might have effects, as we saw Valkyrie get 2 ticks from that. That is a good fight for them. They forced the rotation and won 2 ticks. If Valkyrie can do that again, they'll take the point. The one worry is Salamanders built a lot of map, a lot of ult charge. Not as much ult charge from the side of Valkyrie. Blur's gonna have his primal. He did a lot of cleave damage. Big Tuna and Trizzle both gonna have their ults. Trizzle's ult not the best, but Big Tuna might clear away that if they try and make that rotation again and Dragons comes out, it's over for the Valkyrie rotation.
No one can hide.
Fireman does almost have his Blizzard though, which is a big tool for controlling point. They could just Blizzard point and control that space. Star's looking very dangerous, and there's that dragon that I talked about, forcing away that rotation, and then they're just the stragglers are gonna get picked off now. Very good ult from Big Tuna, and actually nice ult synergy there from Trizzle and Big Tuna. The Widow sights lets the Hanzo really decide when he wants to ult, so it's actually a nice combination there. We saw, Widow sights not that valuable in ult for the most part. Elvin says he's gonna make a swap. He's gonna go to Diva. Interesting swap. I think that might be just to have a bit more pressure onto the side of Big Tuna and Trizzle. They're gonna make a different rotation now, going through Hotel, maybe trying to force out Metal Snow. Window comes out. Blur evaporates. He is turned into a gas as he goes to Monkey Heaven. Metal Snow goes down as well. Fireman catches him out. Tuna is on a slither of HP, but the new worldwide passive is taking into effect and he'll be fine. Jules is going to go down. And that was a really nice fight from Valkyrie. They took a new rotation, put down the ult, the window, got value from it, and they take the first point. That is a really nice win from Valkyrie. And not the worst for Salamanders, because we didn't see them use any ults. So now they can recontest their ults. The big worry is Fireman's still holding onto that Blizzard. So if they hard engage, if Blur hard engages and primals, he might just get Blizzarded. And then he's in for a sad time. But Valkyrie are trying to keep things low-key. They're backing up to point. They're going to push. They're staging. Fireman's looking for that Blizzard. He's found the monkey. He's walled off the monkey. The monkey has been nanoed. The monkey has primal. He is in sad times. Big Tunas go down. It's a nice beat from Annabelle, saving the backline. The orbital strike is coming. War crimes are on their way. They don't get anyone. Blur's in trouble here. He's trying to survive. He's going to get punished by the Bastion. It's difficult as a monkey to survive into some robot genocide. They're all getting picked off. Luke is going to escape. TP's away. Metal Snow's going to get out. Good fight from Valkyrie, who used their ults very effectively and still hold on to that Blizzard. Fireman is going to be okay here. He uses a block, but he might get punished. Indeed, he does. He's too low HP. But maybe that's actually not the best, and that ult was kind of what they were depending on. They're still getting pushed, though. Elvis there uses the bomb. That's interesting. Blur's made the swap wisely off of the monkey onto the Sigma. He didn't like diving into Bastion. Wise decision from him. Elvenslayer used the ult. Maybe not the best choice. Probably should have just died and got back. Fireman gets a pick onto Luke. That's a really nice pick. Now, if they hard engage, Luke had the only ult on the side of Salamanders. That's a really good pick from Fireman. And with that Blizzard, they can probably win it. Elvenslayer's mech goes down. Big Tune is the only one in here. They do pick him out. Joestar is napping on the job. That's very disappointing to see. You should not sleep while you're at the workplace. Blur's negative HP. Trizzle's trying to clean up. Blur can maybe go down, but Luke TP's back and uses his ult, and that should be enough to clean up from the side of Salamanders. But that is a almost cap from Valkyrie. They are ready for Ragnarok. They need that one more fight. Joestar has the window again, and we did see Valkyrie use the window really effectively the last time they had it. A lot of ults, though, on the side of Salamanders. This is again one of those situations where maybe you think they Valkyrie give up this fight and try for the next fight, but they don't have that much time left. Meow's looking low. He wants to just heal up before he goes. It's a good wall onto Blur, but he will be fine. The window comes out, and Blur survives. That's huge. Oh, the anti is good onto Elvenslayer, and he loses his mech. This is dangerous territory now. Forcing ults. Nano Boost and Railguns come out. So now this is where Valkyrie need to reset. They need to get back. They need to either die or survive. They're all going to die. That's fine. Valkyrie now have one more fight left in them, and they have resources. Fireman's going to get at Blizzard soon. Annabelle's going to have a beat soon. So we'll see if they can get value out of this. Joestar's going to swap. Sorry, no, not swap. Joestar just uses Metal Snow is going to swap onto the map. That's what I heard. We're seeing Valkyrie come in here. Blur's just going to poke him out. Elven Slayer looking to come in. The Flux comes out. He gets two. It's a good lamp from the side of Joestar. It gives Annabelle time. She just needs a little bit of time to get that beat. If they can get that beat off, they might win this. Drizzle is down. It's another good Blizzard. Metal Snow is going to see his last. He is turned to Dead Snow. Tuna is gone. Luke is gone. And that's a good fight win from the side of Valkyrie. Again, capping out in that situation where they really, really had to. Now we go on to third point. Are we going to see any swaps on either side? Tuna going over to the Bastion. We always love to see Tuna Bastion. No stops on the side of Valkyrie, who have ults on their side. They're going to have the railguns. They're going to have the beat, which they didn't end up using. They didn't quite build it last fight. Elven Slayer is going to have the remake, the bomb, which is effectively a fancy remake. But Salamanders have positional advantage. We see the Bastion turret eviscerates Elven Slayer. A good block from Blur there forces Meow to back up. It gets one, but he's taken out by Chisel in response. This trading on the defense really favors the defense. And that should be just... Big Tuna is just going to clean up with this turret form. Both supports on point, they just need to die and come back with their team. That's not the worst. Halfway through second point for Valkyrie, and no major ults used other than I stand corrected. They did use the beat. They didn't get the best value out of it, but there are worse situations. Fireman going to swap onto the Genji, try to be a bit more aggressive, maybe trying to get onto the backline with... Oh, that's unfortunate. We see Elven Slayer wanted to throw the Diva Bomb onto this high ground, force them off, but a really, really nice rock from Blur stops that Diva Bomb in its tracks. Big Tuna dominating on this high ground. He's very difficult to dislodge. As I say that, Meow and Fireman forcing him off. Lots of ults coming in here. We see Orbital Strike. The Genocide has arrived, and it has found Elven Slayer in Baby Diva form. And with that Kitsune, that's going to be the cleanup. Elven Slayer stopping to the Wrecking Ball to try to get a touch, but it won't be enough. Not the worst push, though, from the side of Valkyrie. They did get far into third point, and if they can combo their ults again, like we saw them, I think there's a good chance that they can hold here. Although, that being said, Salamanders know how to play their ult combos, they know how to play strategically, and now they have a goal in mind. They know they only need to get to halfway through third point. It'll be interesting to see now if we see anything dramatically different from either side, now that they're on the defense, Valkyrie and Salamanders respectively. I mean, we'd like to see that Salamanders continue these good ult usage that we've seen, continue the good play. I really like the dragons on point 1 that we saw. We hope that there's no reptile dysfunction. We hope that they can just keep going through using their ults properly. We're going to see from the side of the attackers, but again, I put little hope in them staying the same. Chisel on the Widowmaker makes sense, probably going to scout out, then either take control of the high ground or swamp. Big Tune on the Bastion, I expect nothing less. Blur on the Sigma, probably had enough of diving into Bastions. Metal Snow on the Baptiste, Luke on the Zenyatta. We're going to have Luke back on the Zenyatta and a very classical support lineup of Bapzen. On the defender side, we have a creeping Bastion, so Blur wise not to keep onto his monkey picks. Fireman on the May again, Elven Slayer on the Ramatra, Joestar on the Baptiste, and Annabelle on the Lucio. It looks like they're going to stage for an aggressive first fight. They're all hiding in Hotel here, probably going to look for a wall, and then engaging onto whatever they wall. This could really work well, but Metal Snow could shut it down with a good lamp. Here comes the wall, there comes the aggression. Elven Slayer is punching away, and he gets Big Tuna. The lamp was a little bit too late. That is a really, really nicely staged fight from Valkyrie. That's exactly what you love to see. Good lamp there comes out and saves Meow on the Bastion. And now they just need to reset and go again. They're going to look to play aggressive, play around this choke point with this May wall. Maybe we see a swap here. It looks not. If someone can bait out the wall, or only 1 or 2 people get walled off, Big Tuna can really destroy that wall very, very easily. Valkyrie giving a lot of space here. And they're engaging. It's a good engage, but Joestar's going to go down. They're trading, and they're not trading favorably. Oh, I think they let them through a little bit too much, and we saw Big Tuna with an angle on the engage, and he just cleaned up there onto all the backline. Joestar going down was massive, because if Joestar goes down, Valkyrie have no sustain in those fights. Drizzle is poking them as they come out of spawn. He's going to take a headshot from someone, and he's going to back up wisely. Valkyrie in a position here, they can take this nice fight on this choke point. They just have to worry about the high ground pressure from Chisel. Fireman's going to go down, which is a disaster because now they can't control that choke point with the wall. It's a losing fight here at this point. Lamp goes down, Elven Slayer goes down, Droestar goes down, and that is a cheap fight win for Salamanders. Hopefully, Valkyrie can stabilize and Fireman doesn't go down so early because losing that wall is so bad for their composition. They really want to isolate people, and the easiest way to isolate people is with that Mei wall. Trilla's looking to maybe get a cheeky pick off. It'd be very nice if he did for Salamanders. Salamanders gonna poke. Oh, and the aggressive flux. Trilla's using the sights, and there is a massive artillery strike from Tuna. Really nice combination between Blur and Tuna is just gonna take a seat. He's done his war crimes for the day, and it's lounging. He's vibing. He's happy. Robots are happy when they murder people, apparently. But now Drizzle in a dangerous position as they're coming out of spawn. I don't think the Valkyrie are going to be able to touch, and I don't think they're going to try. As I say that, Elven Slayer goes in, and he gets a full Zenyatta right-click in his face. Now that's dangerous. The Omnics are here to play. It's unsure if Elven Slayer is going to be back in time for a nice fight. Metal Snow is pushing this cart while they're really picking off staggers. Which is unfortunate because Valkyrie have so many ults. They have so many ults, they just need to use them. I expect this ult to be on point. Metal Snow needs to worry, and he survived. I was worried there for Metal Snow. Ult usage from the side of Valkyrie, using all their ults. Elven Slayer on point, contesting with his Ramattra ult. Blizzard comes out, but Fireman goes down. Blur survives the Mei freeze. Elven Slayer goes down, and it looks like Salamanders will cap the point on third, going 2-0 up against Valkyrie. That was good that we saw from both teams. I think we just see the experience of Salamanders, overtaking. Oh, that's such a good ult. Oh, destroying that rotation before it even starts. Oh, cleaning up from the angle. Very nice ult usage. I think there we just saw the experience of Salamanders coming in. Maybe some of Valkyrie's roster changes, last minute roster changes, maybe, having some effect. Because like we saw there on Valkyrie's defense, when after they lost the first point, they were staging for second, Fireman got picked, which is unfortunate, but it happens. And then we saw Valkyrie trying to umming and eyeing about whether to engage or disengage. In the end, they kind of staggered themselves. And that happened again, to a different player when, they thought maybe we can touch. Elven Slayer goes in for the touch, he dies, it happens. But then again, it was too late on the disengage to get that nice recontest fight. So a bit unfortunate there from the side of Valkyrie. Then, Salamanders just sort of steamrolled with some nice ult usage. We saw they're getting those picks. They picked up Fireman, they picked off Elven Slayer, but they also used their ults really nicely. They comboed the Flux and the artillery really well. And it was very difficult for Valkyrie to stabilize and get that nice fight. We saw they had the ults, but they just didn't ever get that chance to fight nicely. Our next map is going to be Junkertown, an escort map. Junkertown recently got some major changes, so this is our first time casting with these major changes. The map has historically been very favored for snipers, especially point A, with the long open sight lines, dominated by Widowmaker, Hanzo, Ashe, Sojourn, those kind of long to mid-range heroes. A lot of changes to first point, some changes to second and third. Widowmaker isn't as strong on first point anymore, but a good Widowmaker can still control this map. We can see there in the loading screen there. There is to summarize the changes on first point that affect snipers so much. There is now a massive FU water tower in front of Widowmaker sightlines, and there is now a new building. So who knows whose building this used to be, where a mini health pack used to be a large open sightline the Widowmakers could control entirely, and it is now a building. There we can see the water tower saying F you to Widowmakers. Widowmakers, rejoice, your sightlines are now hell. And here's the building, a half-destroyed building that is a much nicer location for backlines and squishier people to play around. This was previously just an open sightline, blocking off an unfortunate inhabitant. We know how the Australians feel about Omnix. Oh dear. Luke needs to be worried with Junkertown playing Zenyatta. We're going to see kind of what we expected. Trizzle on the Widowmaker, Blur on the Sigma. These are heroes that we expect on Junkertown. Exactly the same on Valkyrie side. Widowmaker, Hanzo, Sigma. These are the heroes we expect on Junkertown. There's still a sniper-dominated map, but the sideline changes just make things easier and a bit fairer for non-snipers. Tuna, interestingly, is going to be on the Sombra, so looking to put pressure onto the snipers of Valkyrie. And exactly like that, Fireman's going to go down to the pressure of Big Tuna, who's going to be just doing his own thing, trying to survive, trying to be a pest, hacking music, getting pressure onto Elven Slayer, who is forced to back up. Tuna can kind of contest points here for free as he wants. He wants to just run away. We're going to swap from Meow onto the Sojin and Fireman off of the Hanzo onto the Widowmaker. So just swapping Widowmakers and adding the Sojin. Dangerous there, and Trizzle gets the pick onto Droestar. His lamp went down and he didn't adjust his positioning accordingly. This is an interesting heads up between Fireman and Trizzle. It's difficult for Fireman to get into this location. He doesn't quite know where Trizzle is. Trizzle has, in some ways, an advantage here because he has positional. He can just play a position he wants. Fireman looking for this Widowmaker, but unable to find it just yet. Both Widowmakers looking to each other. Ooh, Trizzle wants to do it. He's going to go with the aggressive play. He's seen the Widowmaker. He misses the first shot. Now knows where he is. And is he going to run away? He is going to run away. It seems like Valkyrie are struggling to deal with this Sombra in their backline. Here's the EMP. He's going to EMP and go down, but Fireman's going to go down. Blur's going to take out Elven Slayer. And so the EMP did get value, and Tuna will be back soon. Droestar's going to pick up Trizzle. So this is actually an opportunity now. If Valkyrie can be aggressive and take space while Trizzle is gone, it allows them to kind of ignore that Widowmaker threat. They just have to force out this backline, as Luke is proving to be difficult with that Discord. They're getting a lot of value out of the hack in the Discord. Exactly like that, Elven Slayer taken out by Luke and Big Tune in combination. Good lamp there, saves Droestar's team from that flux. Annabelle's coming up to that Kitsune, which could be dangerous. A lot of ults there, sights coming out from Trizzle. Luke, very aggressive here, looking to probably use the Trance. Indeed, there it is. Sleep Dart doesn't get anything. Window and Railguns used together. Flux from Elven Slayer. Luke's probably going to go down. Oh, but it's hacked! Good play there from Tuna. Saving Luke. I stand corrected. Not saving Luke. Luke died anyway. We said the Australians don't like Omnix. But that's okay now. Luke going down is a massive bit of damage gone from Salamanders. And Kitsune coming down, they probably should have it there. Nano Boost to try keep Blur alive, but it's not going to be able to keep him alive. Very nice Kitsune there from Annabelle, keeping the pressure onto Salamanders. Metal Snow trying his best, running away, running into cover that he doesn't know exists. I think Metal Snow might go down, but he gets an orb from Luke, and that should let him survive. High ground advantage here from the side of Salamanders. We see a swap from Blur off of the Sigma onto the Monkey. Immediately dies onto Annabelle, who gets hit by that EMP. Big Tuna going to take out Meow, and then a hack onto Elven Slayer, who should go down, but will trade with Tuna. Some picks from the side of Valkyrie, but with only 13 seconds to go, you wonder, can Valkyrie get this pick? Indeed, they're going to swap. Maybe Elven Slayer can touch, maybe Meow can touch. Droestar as well can. I think Luke is hiding in a corner. Yep, he is. Meow gets the touch, but he dies in the process, and the positional advantage of the defenders is so strong in this staggered, trickling fight that it's going to be too little too late for Valkyrie to get the touch. Not the worst push. We've seen better holds. We've seen worse pushes, but a good start for Salamanders. They just need to win one and a half fights to take out the series. We almost finished the map. We're going to have a pause. Hopefully, no technical issues from Elven Slayer again, or anyone else for that matter. Yeah, the DC Fireman has DC'd, so hopefully he'll be back soon. We saw some interesting fight, a mixed match of styles there, as both teams started off on the sniper head-to-head. We saw the double sniper from the side of Valkyrie, and we saw the Widowmaker and the Sombra from the side of Salamanders. And Salamanders were really doing well. Drostar has disconnected. Okay, hopefully he comes back soon. A star has fallen. Hopefully the Valkyries can use Norse code and find him again. We'll see. The head-to-head. I think Valkyrie really struggled with that Sombra from Big Tuna. Playing that sort of hybrid comp of we had, at time, Blurstop to Monkey, we had that aggression from the side of the Monkey and the Sombra, who was kind of uncontested, and the sniper threat from the side of Trizzle, who is a very good Widowmaker. And that mixed match of styles of having to deal with the aggression, someone shooting you in the back, the Sombra, and the Widowmaker shooting you in the face. Valkyrie struggled to deal with that. The double sniper didn't really work. We saw Fireman get picked out early. And in the roster changes they made, or the hero swaps they made, they didn't really get the response. We saw the fights that they won was off good ult usage, and it's just those neutral fights where they just... that double axis threat is they're struggling to deal with it. So it's well played there from the side of Salamanders, a nice adaptation to a traditional comp. But Valkyrie's struggling with that on the spot adaptation. Hopefully they can change things up, as they have only 1 point to defend, or they lose the series 3-0, and Salamanders will win their second game, I believe. It looks to be that Joestar is going to be back with us shortly. New drivers, new me, and I fully expect the Baptiste to kill everyone with his new drivers. The Uber has been called. No bolts are necessary. He's going to come in here. Salamanders, we would expect Salamanders to take this map, take the series, being a strong team like they are. Like we said at the beginning, placing third at the last tournament. But we've seen good things on the side of Valkyrie, and it must be remembered that they are playing with two players that are relatively recent acquisitions, and so that synergy that we know that Valkyrie has, being an established roster, being players that play together very frequently, is somewhat lacking, and you wonder if that has an effect on some of the neutral fights in particular, because Overwatch players, they know how to combo ults, but sometimes that synergy between players is really important in the neutral fights when you need to take angles for each other, you need to cover each other's corners. So maybe some of that is lacking, or maybe maybe Salamanders are too strong for Valkyrie, but we have seen good things from Valkyrie. We've seen good ult usage, we've seen good rotations, we've seen good plays. I think the speed of Salamanders is something that Valkyrie are struggling with. The adaptation from Salamanders off traditional comps is something that they're struggling with. It's also possible, this being a new patch, everything is a bit up in the air balance-wise. No one quite has yet figured out the strongest comp. Sure, people know that there are strong heroes out there. We know Zenyatta is strong. We know Sojourn is strong. But it's still up in the air about what heroes or what compositions work best in this yet. So Salamanders having someone like Luke who's very strong at Zenyatta, having someone like Trizzle who's very, very good at Sojourn, those strong heroes, obviously they benefit from that. Whether you want to counter it and play against your your opponent's weaknesses or play to your own strengths. We know Valkyrie like to play the Wrecking Ball, sort of aggressive dive disruption comps. So Wrecking Ball not in the best place, I'd say, in this patch. He struggles with certain things. Sure, he gets a big HP buff, but the survivability of everyone is much higher, which means that aggression is harder to pull off. You need absolute perfection with your dive between your Wrecking Ball and your Tracer. So possibly something that Valkyrie might be struggling with, learning the patch, so to speak. No one, I can't sit here and say I know what the best heroes is, the best compositions are for this patch. No one can. People have their beliefs, people have their heroes, and in some ways, in a situation like this, comfort picks are sometimes the best. When you don't know what the strongest hero is, or nobody knows what the strongest hero is, playing things that you are personally stronger at is sometimes the best approach, because that's a good way to also learn what is strong. If you are a very good monkey and then you are really struggling on monkey, that is a clear indication that monkey is maybe not the best hero. Not saying monkey isn't the best hero, just using him as an example. We all love monkey. Salamanders are ready to go in. It looks like Joestar has somewhat sorted his issues. Indeed, we are going to be going in. Everyone is... Joestar is somewhat blind, like Odin. The Valkyries are blind. But in a move of solidarity, Salamanders have capped their FPS to help Joestar with his FPS issues. So my sympathies go out to Salamanders and to Joestar, who are now blind. So we're going to be seeing interesting gameplay. Blind Overwatch, and understandably, Trizzle has gone on to Torbjorn. I think this might be to help him aim. Luke has gone on to everyone is playing heroes that don't need to aim. Elven Slayer on the Mauga. This is the first time COWZA has seen Mauga. The big muscly Samoan man is going to be seen for the first time, so Elven Slayer, make us proud. A large chunky boy who likes to shred tanks. If Blur is on the Reinhardt, he might be in for a bad time. That being said, Tuna on the Bastion, Elven Slayer might be in for a bad time. So it'll be interesting head-to-head. It looks like Valkyrie can go for just an interesting playstyle with the double sniper and the Mauga. Blur on the Reinhardt. They're probably just going to look to hold off, take these fights as long as possible, and then go for that one big ult fight. Now looking for that pick. If he can get the pick onto either Metal Snow or Luke, it will be a huge win for Valkyrie. Luke goes down, that's huge. A lot of healing is gone, but Fireman goes down in response. That's also a lot of damage. That's a lot of shield break as well gone. Elven Slayer engaging there, but he doesn't quite get the boop onto Metal Snow. Bastion and Reinhardt are just sitting here on point, taking as much time as they want on point. Elven Slayer is going to be proved difficult to kill, but once his supports go down, he's going to struggle. Metal Snow goes down, Fireman's going to try touch, but it's going to be too little too late. And that will be the win for Salamanders, taking the 3-0 in our casted game. Unfortunate their technical issues, but I think overall a deserved winner. We saw very nice compositions, very nice adaptation from... Joestar there having problems. We saw adaptation and we saw good plays from Salamanders. And I don't think there is no hope for Valkyrie. I think we did see good things from them, and it'll be good to see them moving forward against some other teams. It's also worth remembering that in the groups, everyone will proceed through to the knockout. They'll be ranked based on their grouping results, and then there will be a double elim knockout. So even if we do see Valkyrie struggling against these larger, stronger teams like Salamanders, they will still have opportunities to impress us. At this point, after a match, it is normally the player of the match is appointed. Now, normally I have a co-caster here to put me to disagree with me, but as I am dictator for life here, I am the glorious leader. I get to choose as the only caster. Now, I generally don't give player of the game based on who was best, who was MVP. I give player of the game on who was the most entertaining player to watch. And I'm going to say my player of the match is Luke. Because watching Zenyatta headshot people across the map is fun, even if the projectile is the size of a small minibus. So well done, Luke. I think you played very well. I think the Zenyatta was good, and it was good to see swaps, actually, because sometimes what you see from players is being stuck on your role, thinking I'm doing well on this role, I don't need to swap. So it was good to see heads-up swaps from Luke, like on the first map when we saw him swap off of Zenyatta, a hero he was doing very well on, onto Brigitte, and then he did very well on Brig as well. So my player of the game goes to Luke. Salamanders take the win 3-0. Good result for them, and hopefully we can see more of Valkyrie. We will be seeing more of Valkyrie later tonight as they take on Inglorious Blasters. We hope to see everyone again at that game. That game's going to be at 8 p.m. We hope everyone will tune in then. You won't have, just after 8 rather, sorry. You won't have to listen to me for all that time, thankfully. You've all listened to my voice for far too long. And I'm going to sign off because of that. You've been subjected to me for far longer than you should have. You can follow COWZA's events on our Discord or on our Twitter at ZA Overwatch. You can find all information relating to the Sunburst Cup there, or just COWZA in general. You can follow the wonderful man behind the camera here at the Peach ZA, who has done all this wonderful producing and carried the show. We hope to see everyone again at 8 as Valkyrie will look to take revenge on their 3-0 against Inglorious Blasters, another hodgepodge style team with some roster swaps. So hopefully we'll see a close game. Until then, I'll be signing off, and I hope everyone enjoyed the match, and see you all later.